He simply walked out of a bar and vanished. Years later, there were too many similar cases to call it a coincidence. It was an autumn night. 21-year-old college student Chris Jenkins walked out of a bar in Minneapolis. He was never seen alive again. His disappearance became the first in a series of mysterious cases that, over the following years, would raise questions, spark debate, and lead to conflicting interpretations. From the late 1990s through the early 2010s, dozens of young men were found dead across 11 U.S. states. Their bodies were discovered in rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water. In many cases, the official cause of death was listed as drowning. However, similarities between these tragedies drew the attention of the public, journalists, and independent investigators. All of the missing men were of similar age and shared comparable physical characteristics and social backgrounds. Most were college students, active, athletic, and well-liked. Many disappeared after nights out at bars or student parties, often after consuming alcohol. Nearly all of the cases occurred near bodies of water. Chris Jenkins was 21 years old. He was a business student at the University of Minnesota and was known as energetic, outgoing, and popular. Chris was also the captain of his university lacrosse team, a fast-paced team sport played with sticks that have nets at the end. According to his sister and friends, Chris was kind, hardworking, and known for his sharp sense of humor. He was considered responsible and motivated, with clear plans for the future. On the night of October 31st, Chris went to a Halloween party with his girlfriend and another couple. He was dressed in a Native American costume. The celebration took place at a bar in Minneapolis. Around midnight, Chris was escorted outside by security. According to one account, he had spilled wine on his pants, and the bouncer believed he was heavily intoxicated. Chris left his phone, wallet, and jacket on the bar counter. He was not allowed back inside. Security footage later showed Chris walking toward a Hennepin Avenue. After approximately 40 meters, he turned left. That was the last confirmed sighting of him. 6 days later, on November 6th, 22-year-old University of Wisconsin student Michael Knoll disappeared after celebrating his birthday at a bar in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 3 days after that, on November 9th, 20-year-old Josh Guimond vanished after leaving a small party in the town of Collegeville. His friends assumed he had gone to the bathroom during a card game, but he never returned. All three disappearances occurred within a 150-kilometer radius of Minneapolis. On February 27, 2003, Chris Jenkins' body was found in the Mississippi River, caught among logs between the 3rd Avenue Bridge and St. Anthony Falls. At the time of his disappearance, Chris was approximately 175 centimeters tall and weighed around 76 kilograms. 1 month later, on March 25th, the body of Michael Knoll was recovered from a lake. His physical characteristics closely matched Chris's. Are now about 174 centimeters tall and weighing roughly 75 kilograms. Both bodies were found not far from where the young men had last been seen. Josh Guimond was never found. According to his parents, his height and weight were also nearly identical. The medical examiner concluded that Chris Jenkins drowned. However, an exact cause of death could not be determined. His blood alcohol level was significantly elevated, and toxicology tests also revealed the presence of a drug. Investigators noted that this substance was uncommon and not typically associated with local street drug use. Police concluded that Chris's death was likely the result of an accident or possible suicide. According to the official theory, he may have fallen into the river, either accidentally or intentionally, while under emotional distress and the influence of alcohol. Investigators also pointed to a possible argument with his girlfriend earlier that night. It was reported that she had been openly flirting with the police officer at the bar, which authorities suggested may have affected Chris emotionally. Despite objections from the family, the case was officially closed in 2004. Chris's parents strongly disagreed with the official conclusion. They stated that their son had never used drugs and had always behaved responsibly. Believing that key questions remained unanswered, they hired a private investigator. The investigation revealed several unusual details. Chris's body showed no injuries consistent with a fall from a significant height. The medical report also contained inconsistencies suggesting that death may have occurred weeks before the body was recovered. The family further criticized the initial police response, noting that witnesses at the bar were not fully interviewed and that the location where Chris's body was found was not treated as a potential crime scene. Public interest in the case led two former investigators, Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte, to conduct their own independent review. After examining the evidence, they concluded that Chris's death did not appear to be accidental. While researching similar cases across other states, they noticed recurring details. In some locations near where bodies were found, graffiti depicting a smiling face had been observed. Law enforcement considered this coincidence, noting that such graffiti is common. The investigators, however, believed it could represent a symbolic marker connected to the incidents. In 2005, police received new information. A man incarcerated for an unrelated crime claimed that he and an accomplice attempted to rob Chris on the pedestrian walkway of the Hennepin Avenue Bridge. According to his statement, when they realized Chris had no valuables, his accomplice allegedly pushed him, causing him to fall from the bridge. In 2006, authorities reclassified Chris Jenkins' death from an accident to a homicide. However, the family questioned this explanation, pointing out the lack of defensive injuries, the intact condition of his costume, and the unusual position of the body. In 2007, a suspect was identified and presented to the county prosecutor. After reviewing the case, the prosecutor determined there was insufficient evidence to file charges. During the alternative investigation, researchers also identified another young man who had experienced sudden disorientation after consuming a small amount of alcohol at a bar months before Chris's disappearance. Blood tests revealed the same substance found in Chris's system. In several other states, similar substances were detected in some of the recovered victims. Independent investigators believe that the similarities among dozens of cases are too significant to be purely coincidental. Official authorities, however, maintain a different position. Federal agencies have stated that there is currently no verified evidence linking these deaths together, nor evidence supporting the existence of a serial offender. According to official assessments, the majority of cases appear to involve accidental drownings associated with alcohol consumption. By the end of 2010, similar incidents had largely ceased. For some families, the official explanations were sufficient. For others, the search for answers continues. This story remains an example of how the same set of facts can lead to very different conclusions, and how some questions remain unanswered.